Welcome to the new subscribers. We hit 750,000 subscribers yesterday. I really appreciate it. You keep me going. Thank you for being part of this weather community. All right, let's get right to it. Two spots to watch. This area, the Northern Gulf in particular, we're now on alert. We're going to go into monitor mode in some spots. I want to track that. I want to show you all of the models and how the models are different from what's actually going on. We'll cover the European, the American, the Icon model with this area, really heavy rain and new tropical waves sliding in. So heads up in this video, Trinidad back through Grenada, all the way up through St. Kitts and Nevis, for example, will have to watch out for the possibility of some flooding as we get down the road. So thank you for your patience in this video. I know there's a lot to cover this time of year. All right, we see this spin here. I like to go where there is going to be the potential of development first. This spin crossing Florida, leaving the Bahamas. It will bring even some heavier rain through the Keys, back through parts of Cuba. This is the spin that could develop in the Northern Gulf just over the next 2 days. So giving you that heads up on that. We swing down here. We have one tropical wave that's sliding by. You can see some of the scattered areas of rain back through parts of at least near Barbados, down through Trinidad, kind of hit or miss. But look at this, watching this blob right in through here. This is a significant tropical wave. I'm not seeing development out of that as of now, but we need to watch this, and eventually as this moves toward the Caribbean, it is going to help to increase the chance of rain. But you could clearly see this does have my attention. It is really flaring up, not seeing development at this time, but it is an area we're going to watch together. All right, let's swing back to this spot here. Anywhere from the central panhandle of Florida back toward Houston, we are now in monitor mode. That means we're not taking action per se, but it is a good idea to spread the word. I don't think a lot of folks know about this area that could spin up. So thank you for sharing this channel just to get the word out. Right through here, we are in monitor mode. That includes the Houston, Beaumont area, back through New Orleans, so Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, back through parts of the panhandle of Florida. That means we're kind of waiting and seeing, but just a higher alert mode. And letting folks know that there is going to be heavy rain, no doubt, but a tropical storm is possible with this area. A very sloppy system, as I said yesterday, that's still on track, but the European model now is latching onto more development, a higher chance of at least a tropical depression forming. This is the European model. You see near New Orleans, Mississippi, Alabama, it's now saying, hey, a 90% chance that a tropical depression will form out of this. Tropical depression is one step lower than a tropical storm. So once you get to tropical storm, it gets a name. The next name on the list is Dexter. This area is going to at least feed off of the very warm water. And even if it's not officially a tropical storm, it is going to bring some tropical storm-like conditions back toward the Northern Gulf. So the spin working across the peninsula of Florida now, this is not a threat for being a tropical storm or hurricane over the peninsula of Florida. This is moving away, heavy rain, no doubt, but then it will be sitting for a couple days over the Northern Gulf where the water temperatures are so very warm, and then eventually making a curl up toward parts of Louisiana. But heads up, if this just kind of wiggles its way and slows down a little bit, some of the heavier rain could drift over toward the Houston and Beaumont area. That's why I mentioned we're also in monitor mode in those areas to keep an eye on this. Now, most of the models are not seeing this becoming a significant system, but the models have been off on this, right? I've been showing you the spin the last 2 days. Been talking about this for about a week and a half now. Most of the models, this is the threshold above this line, this darker line here. That would be a tropical storm. Most of the models are keeping this below tropical storm status, but they haven't been doing a really good job picking up on the spin out of this. Now, let me show you the three bigger models. Here's the American model showing we'll start here first. We'll go the American, I think I have the European next, and then the Icon model showing this area crossing the peninsula of Florida. But look at that heavier rain diving down toward parts of Cuba as well. Heavy bands of rain. Then it has just really this big sprawly, sloppy area by tomorrow sitting right over the Northern Gulf. Kind of has it go a little bit faster so it doesn't give it a lot of time to develop. This here would be tomorrow afternoon. All right, let's switch over into Thursday, and you can see not really a whole lot other than some heavier rain. That is going to happen. The heavy rain is going to happen, the flood potential, but it's not showing much of a system working back toward Louisiana, even over toward the Houston area. There is that chance some of that rain could squeak into extreme portions of eastern Texas. So the American model is not showing a ton right now as far as development. Now this has been a turn. The European model showing a little bit more what the Icon model is showing. Some development, at least a tropical depression, maybe a tropical storm. So here it is. Here's the peninsula of Florida, here's Cuba, here's Jamaica, and I'll cover those tropical waves for us in the Caribbean, no doubt. But looking at this area, by the time we get into tomorrow, this is Wednesday, showing a sprawly system, not super defined, but this area moves in to the northeastern sections of the Gulf. With that, we have those warm water temps in a little bit of a spin, more of a spin, kind of a circulation sitting just to the south of parts of Alabama and the panhandle of Florida, right in through here. But as we go from Wednesday into Thursday, the European model is now picking up on some development, potentially into a tropical depression right near southeastern Louisiana, back through parts of Mississippi, right in through here, showing a system, but still a weaker one, low-end tropical storm or a tropical depression sitting in here. But on the backside, those bands of rain continue to just pump in to parts of the southeast U.S. So that's why I mentioned, regardless if this gets a name or not, really heavier rain. And then by the time we work our way into Friday, this is Friday, it has a tropical depression or something like that working its way up into Louisiana, still bringing a wide area of some rain and that potential of some flooding rain kind of on the back side of this, working it in. Both of these models, the American and European, are not showing this developing into a hurricane. I'm not seeing that at this point, but again, when we get something sliding over the warm water temps, no doubt, you know that I'm watching it. Now here's the Icon model. This one was showing a hurricane a couple days ago, but I was saying that was probably a little underdone. It's kind of backed off on that. It's showing more what the European model is showing now, but the European model, or excuse me, the Icon model has done a really good job picking up on some of the development out of this. By tomorrow, it's just showing what the European model was showing, just a sloppy system in the northern Gulf, but then it tries to develop it a little bit just like the European model, and showing some sort of tropical depression trying to work its way into the southern coast of Mississippi and Louisiana by the time we get into Thursday, and then just kind of working in. But this one is interesting in the sense that as this area tries to pull into Louisiana, it does still bring some of that heavier rain back toward eastern Texas. That's why I mentioned in Houston. Thank you for spreading the word about this. Not that anything super crazy is coming, but we know flooding could creep up in a hurry, and I like to give you the heads up on this channel. We do need to monitor this in the Houston area, because if this slides a little bit more toward the west, that could increase that chance of some flooding into extreme southeastern portions of Texas. And here are those water temps. We're talking about 88, 89, 90, 91 degrees in some spots right where this is going to slide over. That's one of the reasons this could go from kind of not a whole lot to a tropical storm rather quickly, but giving you the heads up here. So I got you covered. You got all the information right here. Don't leave anything back. I like to give you everything. Now the wind shear, I don't just look at the water temps. Water temps are always really warm this time of year, but they're especially warm in the northern Gulf. But I look above our heads, the wind shear, this red shading, that's where there's high wind shear. This is Thursday. That's a good thing because that knocks the thunderstorm tops off. That could kind of rip a system apart. But as we work our way into parts of the northeastern Gulf, there's not a ton of wind shear. So with that and with the warm water temperatures, that's why I do believe this will develop into a tropical depression or potentially a tropical storm. But either way, tropical storm-like conditions, that's the main thing in this area. If it does spin up, tries to develop even quicker, I'll give you that heads up right here. But look at some of these rain totals the next few days. Once this area starts to work in, by the time we get into later in the week, parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, some of these totals, we're looking at 6, 7, 8 inches of rain, could be a little bit more in spots, and then we'll monitor to see if this does shift its way a little bit closer toward Texas as we get down the road. Now, earlier, I showed you those big tropical waves sitting out here, one in particular. Know that I'm watching that for us in the Caribbean. Meanwhile, we've had some rain from overnight with one tropical wave moving in. St. Kitts and Nevis, we've had some of that rain already. Spotty storms, Jamaica, Haiti, the DR, Cuba, because of this area up to the north. Then as we work our way into tomorrow, scattered areas of rain as expected. As I've been telling you since this weekend, it's going to get more active for us, especially in the eastern Caribbean with scattered areas of rain. But look what happens by the end of the week with that new tropical wave trying to slide in. We need to keep an eye on Trinidad, Guyana, northeastern Venezuela, Suriname for the potential of more flooding. Still some thunderstorms. Some of us dry in Jamaica, others getting some storms. But look at this moisture that may surge in Thursday into Friday. So St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent the Grenadines, Grenada, down through Trinidad. We need to monitor this, not necessarily for development, but giving you the heads up, we could see a flood potential as we work our way toward the end of the week. We need to keep an eye on that big blob out there. I got you covered right here, but just a heads up for us in the Eastern Caribbean, we could see that flood threat getting higher by the end of the week and the upcoming weekend. Meanwhile, today, back toward parts of Canada, the Great Lakes, watching out for that severe weather threat. There was significant flooding in parts of the mid-Atlantic yesterday. Still some storms. Here's that monsoon flow back through parts of Mexico, more flooding of potential New Mexico, and then back into parts of Arizona. This is the spot we're watching, of course. This is the America model down toward the Gulf, but there are those kind of fronts, bands of rain that will be working into Wednesday. Still that flow right in through here, which is a concern for additional flash flooding. And watching these systems just kind of clipping by us in the Atlantic region of Canada. I see another one Thursday into Friday that will be sliding in. Scattered storms, and then of course monitoring what's happening in here, but watching out for this flood potential back toward the west. Now the seas are going to be dependent on if this area spins up. We're going to be choppier though. Atlantic passageways back through the Caribbean the next couple of days. We'll see things on the elevated side, but you see that little spot right there. Elevated, if this area develops, of course, we'll get some more in the way of some elevated seas back toward the northern Gulf. But Jamaica south over toward parts of Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, we'll get some elevated seas as we work our way toward the end of the week with these tropical waves moving in. So monitoring this area, I mentioned those rain totals. They will be on the high side as we slide over the next few days, no doubt. But scattered areas of rain, Jamaica, Cuba, back through Haiti, the DR. If we get some rain, if you get a thunderstorm, a quick 50 to 75 millimeters of rain will be possible. Same thing, a couple Puerto Rico, Antigua, Barbuda, we could get a couple showers. It's getting more active with these tropical waves sliding in. Dominica, passing shower or storm. In this sector, we'll be watching Thursday, Friday into Saturday to see how this blob does in the Atlantic, right? I'll be watching that. Any signs of development, I will be letting you know. But there's some of the heavy rain interior, Guyana especially, with some totals of 200 millimeters of rain. Backed off a little bit, parts of Central America. We have been too dry now. Watching Belize, only a stray chance of a shower. A little bit more Costa Rica, Panama, then back through Mexico City. Some heavier rain, and that's what's kind of drifting its way back toward the north. But monitoring this area in here and that flood potential again, parts of the mid-Atlantic with those scattered storms that will be around the next few days. So getting more active across the board, what we would expect in mid-July. Watching the tropics carefully, 40 to 50% chance of scattered showers and storms. Jamaica, 20 to 30% chance Cayman Islands. And watching those scattered showers, Trinidad and Tobago. But again, Trinidad back toward parts of St. Lucia, Barbados. We're just going to see that rain chance on the higher side. Monitoring that. It'll be scattered about the next few days. But even on the higher side, potentially by the time we get into Friday and Saturday, Grenada, same thing. 40, 50% chance, watching that as well. St. Vincent, the Grenadines, but we need to watch those new tropical waves. Martinique, 50% chance the next few days. Dominica, 60% chance of a passing shower today. And we do that again in Guadeloupe. Rain chance as we work our way toward Antigua, Barbuda. 30 to 40% chance the next few days and a 40% chance the next 2 days. St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, we've already had a few of those showers around. 30 to 40% chance. Anguilla and St. Bart's, and a 40% chance. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia over the next 3 days. Watching out for some scattered storms for us in Puerto Rico. It has been hot, some of us dry, but others getting dumped on with that threat of storms, and that rain chance bumping up. St. Thomas, St. Croix, Tortola, seeing U.S. and British Virgin Islands, some scattered showers that will be around. 60% chance, mainly northern Bahamas for today with that spin working its way across Florida. 30% chance on the Turks and Caicos. 30 to 40% chance of some scattered storms across the Dominican Republic. Haiti, we have about a 20 to 30% chance. 20 to 30% chance in Belize. That is it. We need to get some rain in here. None over the next few days for most of us. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, rain chance about 20 to 30%. We'll keep an eye on those new tropical waves that will be sliding in. Guyana, Guyana, the rain chance is going to stay elevated. Flood threat's going to go up. Same thing as we work our way back towards Suriname. And scattered thunderstorms, some strong to severe as we work our way back through Cuba. Rain chance Costa Rica, Panama, 50% chance the next couple of days, 40% chance in Nicaragua, 30 to 40% chance as we work our way back toward Honduras, and a 30 to 40% chance Guatemala and El Salvador. But Mexico City, watching that flooding that will be possible in and around Mexico City. Yucatan Peninsula, some isolated storms possible. 40% chance northern Colombia, 60% chance working our way back toward northern Venezuela, and a 20 to 30% chance the next 3 days in Bermuda. So really active in the tropics, watching that area in the northern Gulf, monitoring for the chance it becomes a tropical depression or tropical storm. Again, we are in monitor mode in those locations that I told you. Very warm water, low wind shear as well. That could allow that to spin up into Dexter, which is the next name on the list, and those new tropical waves sliding to the Caribbean. Got you covered right here. Thank you for subscribing, being part of this weather community. Have a good day ahead.